Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! All right! Episode 277 of Shirt Show! We're talking with Justin from Oklahoma Shirt Company in Oklahoma and Brett from Printed Threads in Texas. Let's go!
Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Dylan. I'm the owner of Upstate Merch and the host of the Shirt Show podcast. My guest today, it was like a co-group, was Justin from Oklahoma Shirt Company and Brett from Printed Threads. I've had them both on the show a couple times. We're really good buds. We all do a ton of industry stuff. So it was really cool to kind of get them on today to hear basically our take on the last couple of years in our industry and what's going on and how it's affected our businesses and what we're doing to move forward and kind of the light at the end of the tunnel. We also dove a lot into Print Hustlers that's coming up. They have an event that is one of my personal favorites to go to every year. It is an event that is just more inspiring to go to if you are in this industry. It's not all technical stuff. It is just you kind of get to go and chill and sit down and learn a ton of things, network, meet people. It's great. Honestly, it's one of those ones that you just go and you leave and you're like, all right, I've got a notepad full of notes and things I want to change about my shop or things that I want to do going forward. So it was really great to dive into all the nuances of that with them. But we did go off the wall on a bunch of different things about like apparel brands and how they market and, you know, how we should approach customers moving forward. I do want to apologize in this episode. I mute a bunch of times. I'm coming off of a cold. If I do sound like I'm fully congested, it's because I am. But I think I made do. I think I made it pretty good. If you enjoy listening to these episodes, the best way you can support it is by sharing on your social platforms so that other people can learn that this show exists. If you can do me a quick favor and hit like and subscribe on YouTube, that would be huge. It really helps us get out there to other people. But I appreciate you. If you want to check out our website, you can go to shirtshowofficial.com. There's a ton of new things being added to it all the time. It's something I'm really proud of. Jared, my good buddy, has been helping us put it all together. We have shop hacks on there. We're going to have events. We're going to have articles. There's an Amazon store that has a bunch of stuff from the shop hacks page. It's really cool. So go check it out. It's currently evolving all the time. So also, if you want to sign up for the newsletter that comes out weekly, it's me personally writing it on Sundays at my kitchen table. It's about what's going on with me and also the recap from last week. And it's got tech tips from John McGee and soon to have industry news from Printing United. So go check that out. This show would not be possible without our amazing partners. It all starts with a screen. Whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, greatfuckingscreens.com, or FFFFrank.com. Cleaning screens is no fun, but EasyWay makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals and equipment make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Right now is a great time to check them out because they have a new monthly giveaway where you have a chance to win $250 in product credit. Head over to easyway.com/giveaway to enter today. EasyWay, it's the easiest way. Graphex is your source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. They can help any size shop from just starting out to enterprise level. Looking to add a hero to your art department? Check them out at graphexsource.com. SNS is your premier partner in the apparel industry with one website, one purchase order, and 14 distribution centers with over 100 beloved brands. You can streamline your ordering and hit free freight faster than ever. SNS has 1 to 2 day shipping with the lowest error rate in the industry. Be sure to order your blanks from ssactivewear.com. Today's episode is brought to you by American Apparel, makers of the iconic 2001. Soft, fitted, and always in style, this shirt has been the go-to for brands, bands, and print shops for decades. If you want a shirt people actually want to wear, start with the iconic 2001. For over 90 years, Stahls has been the leading choice among apparel decorators for their heat transfer materials, heat press equipment, and custom transfer services. Not only do they offer some of the best products, but they are always looking to innovate and educate our industry on all things heat press. Head over to Stahls.com to order your transfers and check them out on YouTube to be taught a thing or two. We talk about stalls in this episode a bit. And if you haven't already, go to stalls.com. Check out everything they have to offer. There's a ton of stuff, I promise you. They also helped collab with Atonal, and we made some Shirt Show hats, and the stuff is awesome. Like the different types of patches. It rules. So check it out. Rionet's always been that solid go-to resource for screen printers. Not only are their supplies super reliable, but their network of education and support is next level. Whether you're figuring things out or fine-tuning your process, they've got your back. Check them out at screenprinting.com. I do want to say that if you listen to this whole episode, there is a cool discount code, I guess you could say, near the end. So make sure you check it out. That is going to be for Print Hustlers. If you are looking to join a community of like-minded people, if you're new to this industry or you've been around for forever, you just want to meet new printers or discuss things, check it out at shirtshowofficial.com/discord. It is totally free. It is monitored. There are no trolls. You can feel free to ask any questions you want to ask. There's all kinds of channels, be it screen printing, embroidery, DTF, any digital stuff, whatever. It's all in there. Go and sign up. You can do it as an app on your phone, or you can do it on your desktop. It's all there. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for continually listening. If you ever want to just reach out to me and chat, you can hit me up on Instagram at ShirtShowOfficial, and it'll be me who responds to you. So hit me up. Let me know if there's anything you want to see, any shops you want to recommend, or just any people in general that you think would go really well on the show. I'd love to hear from you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Enjoy the episode. That is truly what Justin looks like. Hey, beautiful people.
Hello.
What's up, dude? Look at this guy. Isn't that awesome?
It is pretty rad, yeah.
I didn't set up a fancy mic. I hope that's okay.
You still sound great. You have a voice of an angel.
It's not the sound, it's the look.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does this make you feel better? I put it down here so you can see it.
I will say, I watched one episode of like the Print Hustlers podcast a while back and saw that Bruce and Steven, like I did an episode with them. I came in like you did, Brett, and then I watched on my TV the playback, and the audio and the video quality was such dog shit. I instantly spent $500. So next time.
You didn't even get like the basic bitch one either. You got like the full on like all in ready to
Justin
go.
has never been basic bitch. I don't know if you've noticed.
That's true. Yeah. More bling than anyone I usually know. There you go.
You talking about NBA trophy?
Yeah, there.
Is that plastic?
There it is.
It's real.
I debated whether I wanted to talk to you about that or not, Justin, because I feel like you're sick of talking about it.
No, I love
think
talking
he's
about
sick
it.
of talking about it. He's going to be talking about it until the finals next year.
Until the day I die.
Uh-huh.
Hey, you can say that if you want to. I would like real talk. If you ever need I'd love to do I'd do a whole episode with you about like, how did we get it? What goes into it? The execution, the delivery, like all that stuff. If you ever wanted to.
I'm down. I mean, again, like I knew what happened to you and it was going on, and then Bruce and Steven snagged you and you did that, and then you were like on everything talking about it, and I was just like, I'll give him a break. That man is tired.
I got to hang out with Bruce and Steven last week.
What were you doing?
There was like Stalls opened up this new facility called SF1, which is basically kind of their fulfill engine backend. And the goal of it is to be like, I think what the actual facility was for is like to show how fulfill engine works more than it is to be a fulfillment center, because it's not very, it's really not very big. But Bruce and Steven just happened to show up. I was like, Bruce, you can't surf here, you know?
What are you doing out here? Yeah, I was invited too, and then my one of my best friends, but also my manager in the office, had to be out for maternity leave. So I was like, oh, I can't go. I got to fill in for him. So I missed out. I think honestly, I wanted to go see what the stall stuff had, but also the dude has a car museum.
Very nice.
So I was like, oh, I kind of want to see that. So what did you get out of the print, the stalls event?
I think that they've done a really good job of building. Like a better fulfillment software than I think we've seen in our industry. And then I think they wanted to show that off, but also show that how that they can be a partner instead of just kind of like doing something like what Alpha Broder did or something where it's like, we're in the printing business now. They want to create a platform for kind of maybe promotional products fulfillment people to use that connects with a printer network, but they also want to be partners with printers. And so I felt like maybe that was a lot of about what the messaging was. I think Stalls is a pretty interesting company. Like, I don't know how much you know about them, but they're like a family owned, nearly 100-year-old business, which is has done a lot of really cool things that they don't really talk about. So I was impressed.
Yeah, we had them on and did an episode, and it was cool to hear like the whole backstory and like, you know, all the sports stuff and how they got involved and whatnot. And then I can't remember where I was, but I was talking to them about the Fulfill Engine thing, and it seemed really cool because it would seem like very like hands off as far as like I could create a store for a customer, and as long as everything lined up price wise, they would handle the entire thing and it would just go to the customer and I didn't have to deal with anything. Or I might be wrong on this, but it seemed like too, if you wanted to produce the items, they could almost like a food, like a freshly kind of thing or something where they send you the ingredients and then like we can put it together here as far as if we're getting like patches or, you know, transfers or whatever it is we wanted to do. So I don't know. It seems like a really cool thing as long as it holds up to what it says it is. But I believe so because they're good people. So
yeah, I think that's probably where the event becomes important, is just to show like, hey, we're here to be your partner. We're not here to like take something away from you, which it could easily be skewed the other direction if they didn't come out with that messaging in the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. So both of you, I mean, we haven't kind of seen each other in a little while. I've kind of taken a break as far as traveling to every fucking event ever for a little while.
Same. It's been great.
I know. I was like, I had one-on-ones with my staff like earlier in the year, and like literally every single one of them was like, "You're never here," and I was like, "Yeah, I probably should to dial it back." But to everyone I've talked to over the last year and, you know, had interviews with and stuff, like a lot of people are just like, shit's weird. And you two are people that I see that are kind of like in a similar role where it's like, I own the company, I run the company, but I kind of step back and I let my people kind of do their thing and everything. I wanted to get, I guess, separately, both of your opinions on just like, what the fuck, like what the hell is going on? Like, are things okay? Are things good? Are you thinking you need to step back in and kind of like evolve things or like change the company's direction in order to keep things good? I know, Justin, you had the Thunder thing that had to have been like a huge influx of like, cool, this helps. But I guess, Justin, if you want to start because of that and see like what it's like for you now. And also you have other things too. You have like Chill and whatnot. So.
Yeah. I think shit's weird. You said that. But I do think that like what I'm learning over time is that you're either going to be like, I think now is like when the entrepreneur inside of us, like that doesn't die. Like there's part of me that feels like I started this, I was really involved in it. I brought in my team, we got something going. And then as we've like done less innovation and less expansion and just more reps of like what we should be doing, not buying more equipment, not having new decoration methods, not having new, like just all these new news that happen, you know, the first during your startup or while you're figuring out who your business is. That's when like us as entrepreneurs are crucial. You know, we're cooking, we're refining, we're innovating, we're like failing until we find things that work. And so I think that now like Oklahoma Shirt Company is 13 years old. And that means that there's less and less new and there's less and less innovation. There's more and more of just doing the same thing. So I think my role is to stay entrepreneurial for the business and for the changing landscape. Like there was like this window where a lot of us started our businesses, we'll just say 5 years plus before the pandemic. and we kind of figured out who we were. And then the pandemic happened. And that was the first time that we all, as like young business owners, were like, holy shit, what's going to happen? And it has felt like that ever since, like through the relief from the government, through like how we had to move our businesses to like, oh yeah, now we all have to do fulfillment in online stores. Oh yeah, now we have to be different. Like there's just so many things.
And then we all said, fuck that. We don't want to do fulfillment in online stores. Yeah.
But like, even from like the inception of DTG and how we wrestled with that, and from then like trying different versions of that, and then this sucks, and then now there's DTF, and I just think like, yes, things are different and things are harder, but I think there's still tons of opportunity. I think there's tons of market correction that's happening. I'm certainly feeling that in the cannabis space in Oklahoma as businesses are closing down. It's improving the health of my healthy business. I'm feeling that in the screen printing space. I never wish, ill will on anybody, but there's market correction happening in the screen printing space. You guys probably have friends in the past year or two that have shut down their businesses. And those, like the new market of equipment purchases sucks right now. And the used market is flooded with equipment. And that puts like all of our equipment manufacturers, these like anchors in our industry, kind of back on their heels, and they're not leading and they're not trying new things. And us as business owners are left to scramble. And like, I guess I'm thinking about Oklahoma Shirt Company a lot more than I was thinking about, like, I used to think about Osco and Workhorse Products and Chill and my family. And like, I have to focus, like what you were saying, Dylan, like being at home is not just about sitting in my office waiting for something to break. It's how am I constantly reinventing my business and making sure that we're still relevant, and we're relevant for new customers, and we're continue to be relevant for our existing customers. So that's what I think, like where I categorize weird is we have to be agile and nimble and continuing to pay attention as technology and AI and equipment and businesses are coming and going. If you sit still, you're going to die. And I think that's the lesson.
Yeah. Brett, what's it like for you?
I think, kind of going back to the statement of shit's been weird this year, whatever, like the reality is shit's been weird for 5 years, which is what Justin just said. Like nothing has been normal for the last 5 years. We thought the world was going to end. We're going out of business. Then the government gave us a bunch of money and they're like, sweet, everybody has money. Everybody's buying stuff. This is awesome. We're going to print so many t-shirts. And then we turn around in 23 and like for us, we sold way less t-shirts. And it's like, well, now we have all this overhead from expanding. What do we do? How do we save the business? So in 23 for us was the year that was like, all right, we're going to become lean. We're going to redirect our focus, and we're going to make sure that we're a profitable business. And so I feel like we had probably planned ahead by the time we got to the year 2025 on like how to be a business in 2025. And probably without the knowledge of how to run a business pre-pandemic, that would have been really, really difficult, I think. But yeah, we've just kind of refocused. We actually sell to a different audience than we used to. Really? I always loved we sell to bands and we sell to, all these cool people, which we want to, and we want to continue to do.
Right.
But those are like the worst customers.
I fully agree.
100%.
And so it's like, okay, let's look at who has money and let's sell stuff to them. And like, I still love printing for bands and I love going to concerts, and that's a huge part of my identity in my life. But like, they're not going to pay on time. They're not going to order on time. They're not going to have their artwork ready. They don't know what they want. And so you're doing this, like all these services for people that you're not making any margin on. And so we had kind of refocused 23, 24 into like, hey, how do we sell North Face jackets? You look at like what promotional products distributors have like traditionally been doing where they make all this margin. It's like, let's do that. Let's be a successful business. That sounds really fun.
What was that pivot like for you? Like, what was the actual change? Like, did you just one day, like you said, like look into what are these other products that we can sell? Or was it an actual like, hey, let's take a minute and let's do some outreach to specific markets? Like, what did that look like for you?
I got lucky. I got someone I ended up going to a dinner with a bunch of local entrepreneurs, and the dinner was put on by a bank, and we became friends with the banker. And then she was like, "Hey, can I come see your business?" And I gave her a tour, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know we could do that, or I didn't know we could do this." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And she's like, "Yeah, could you make me some like North Face quarter zips?" And I was like, "I absolutely can." And then you like write the invoice, and you're like, "Oh my gosh." Like the amount of margin we make in selling a t-shirt is like a couple dollars. The amount of margin you make in selling a embroidered quarter zip is like $40. That's like, how do we sell thousands of those a week? You know,
they really suck when you mess them up. But I mean, yeah, I agree that margins are better.
But it is, I feel like I still am in a little bit of an identity crisis with like, where do I want to be? Where do I see myself? Who are my, like I still go to concerts as much as possible. And I still want to see our boxes, but,
I think I'm in the exact same boat as you right now. Like I weirdly feel like I'm in this, I don't know, like middle ground thing of like the first 12 years, the entire company was like me and my identity. And like, if you DM'd Upstate Merch on Instagram, it was me you were talking to, and I would always do these stories of like building the shop and stories of like, oh, we got this new equipment, or we figured out this print technique, or we did this and that. And then it was like, okay, well, at a certain point I got to where the shop ran itself. I didn't even need to be here. I was traveling all the time. I was doing shirt show stuff, or I was doing M&R stuff, or I was fucking anywhere and everywhere. And I was like, cool, the thing runs itself. And then I realized like after a little while, I felt like the soul of the company just left. Like, it's like, cool, we still print stuff. We still do bands. We still do comic book stuff. We do whatever. But the soul left. And then when COVID stuff happened, it was kind of like people didn't necessarily feel as much attachment to us. It was easier for them to be like, oh, I can go somewhere else because I'm just dealing with Upstate Merch. I'm not dealing with like, oh, I'm buddies with Dylan, or I'm buddies with so-and-so or whatever. It was just the company they went to. And then after that, I realized like, oh shit, like some of these people that we really wanted to work with now are kind of like floating out to do these other things, or they went under or something. And then over the last year, I've been like, oh shit, I feel like I need to really like step back in and get back into like storytelling and like talking about new products and like get away from this bullshit of like, I'm making content for other screen printers. Like, I'm like, I just want to make content for the customers and figure out who my current new customer is. And it's funny, like we did a large order for Target recently, and talking to this higher up person at Target or whatever the other day, they were like, oh, we got our stuff, we love it, whatever. I have a ton of other people like me that want similar things, like I'm going to bring you up. And I was just like, it's just funny, like 10 years ago I would have been like, oh, this sweet new metal band we printed for. Now I'm like, oh cool, we get to print more stuff for Target. And it's like
sell out.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Like, I don't give a shit because Target pays the bills, and they're like, they have no issue paying bills. But it's just funny, like we go from printing, you know, bloody fucking horror whatever thing, and it's like, oh, let's print stuff for Target. But in general, yeah, I just don't know. I don't know in this landscape right now, like what my market is other than, okay, let's just start over basically. Like, I feel like the company's running, everything's here, but like my marketing plan and my approach is like completely starting over, which I'm kind of stoked about, to be honest, because I feel like I haven't had that, like Justin was saying, that like entrepreneurial itch to like create something. Now I'm like, cool, I can create something all over again. But one thing about you, Brett, that I've always like thought was awesome is like you were very involved in like Fort Worth. Like you said, you're going to fucking banker dinners and shit. Like, like and other things. Like you did stuff. Was there a what was that movie? I ended up watching it. The one of the baseball there or whatever with. Oh
yeah, You Gotta Believe.
Yeah, like you were involved in that and like whatever else. Like, how do you feel like a lot of your business now with this approach for, like you said, like North Face stuff or whatever it is you're doing is more centered around like Texas, Fort Worth stuff, or are you branching out with that as well?
Well, I think it's important that when people in Fort Worth need merchandise, that they think of us. And so how do we make sure that they think of us? And it's, to me, just to be the most prominent. So be involved in your city, be involved with the Chamber of Commerce and the Visitors and Conventions Bureau. And how do we make the city look better. And if we can make the city look better, then people are going to look at us to help them look better too.
Yep.
And so I think we're probably really similar to Oklahoma Shirt Company in that way. I mean, like if you look at the similarities in our businesses, we're both right downtown. We probably both have very similar clients. We print for the Dallas Mavericks. He prints for the Thunder. It's like all these weird similarities. But I do think that like I've always said, like, be a good steward of your neighborhood. And I think that's really, really important. So if a new business opens up down the street, a new restaurant or something, like I'll just go take them a free box of shirts because it's not that much to me, but it's a lot. It means a lot to them. And so we try to do that kind of stuff over and over so that we're really prominent in our city.
Well, I want to ask you an honest question because these people that you're talking about aren't going to listen to this podcast, but like, do you guys actually like doing that? Because to me, it's like, I don't like it anymore. Like, I don't like being a part of the commerce thing and like going and sitting down and doing like small group meetings and this and that. Like, I'm not interested. Like, I know I need to or should for the business, but like, it used to be something I was stoked to do. I was like, oh, I'll join this committee. I'll be on this board. I'll do this thing and that thing. And now I'm like, fuck, dude, I want to just hang out at the shop, play basketball. Like,
like I've got 4 kids too, right? And, I want to spend time with my wife and kids. And so my time is much more important than it ever was. And so I'm pretty guarded, but there are things that I make sure that I am a part of and I put on my calendar and I show up to. I think there's a lot of things that these community organizations do that I don't need to be at, but I think that someone from my company should be there. And so it's kind of figuring out like, is this a marketing role? Or is this a CEO role? Like who needs to be at these things so that we're there and that we're prominent, but it doesn't necessarily take my personal time away from my family.
Yeah.
I would agree. I think what I'm trying to do is like find where like in the Venn diagram of my efforts, like they're additive. So like community support and, like generosity is important to me and my family. So I want to make sure that I can find civic organizations in Oklahoma City that so I serve on a board, the Oklahoma City Public Schools Foundation, which is the like organization that sits beside Oklahoma City Public Schools, which is where my children attend. And that's how I feel like, there's 38,000 students in Oklahoma City Public Schools. There's a bunch of schools. That's a really great demographic for Oklahoma Shirt Company. My children go to these schools. It's a under-supported and underfunded, government organization. So there's kind of like several things that line up for me of like, this feels like some good marketing efforts, some good civic efforts, some good, like I'm looking out for my kids and my family. So I look for those things that kind of like prop up Oklahoma Shirt Company or being associated with this, is a good look in our community. I think that would be really hard in cities that are bigger than Oklahoma City or Fort Worth. It's still charming and accessible. You can go get in and, being involved as much as you want to in the town that you're in. And I think that probably the bigger it gets, there's more opportunities that just might feel more diluted. To like answer your other question, Dylan, about getting involved in or like going to these mixers or meetings or things, and is it a value? And I think there was a really striking thing that happened to me last week. I hate going to mixer events, and I hate going to business events, and I hate going to the commerce events and just like networking for networking's sake. But the truth is like everybody loves a screen printer or a decorator or a promo buyer or an embroiderer because at some point they're all going to need it. So this year, I'm taking an enormous risk. We are going to become corporate sponsors alongside the Thunder. What that means is I have to pay a lot of money, which I've cleverly wound into an in-kind trade, which is great. But basically, what's going to end up happening in this arrangement is most of all of the regular season printing things we're going to be giving to the Thunder in kind, likely. And I wanted to make this relationship sustainable and work because it's not a guarantee that we go to the postseason. It's not a guarantee. I mean, this year, obviously, we're going to win the NBA championship again because we're untouchable. But and a dynasty is happening in Oklahoma City. But I want that relationship to be sustainable, and it's so crucial to us and who we are in the community. Our company motto is building community through t-shirts. And so like that is one of the things that like lining that arena is a really like community big like energy event that's really special for a small business like us. So I want to protect that and make sure that happens over and over again. So we're going to be the official shirt printers of the Thunder. Cool, whatever. My point in that is last week I got to go, by being a corporate sponsor, I got to go to an area or be in a room in places that I haven't got to be before. With, if you ask who are all of our top customer prospects or best customers in Oklahoma City, there are all these giants of industry. So like Love's, the gas station, Paycom, a big payment processing thing that also is the namesake of our arena, MidFirst Bank. All of these people that we print on the sleeves of these playoff shirts that we're, donning the arena with, they are huge businesses, Fortune 500 public companies that I don't have any access to, but
now you do.
I went to this golf tournament and I got paired up, and there were 60 people at this golf tournament. And I had a really charming icebreaker to all of these new people. Hi, I'm Justin. What do you do? Well, we're local t-shirt printer, and we, the t-shirts that go on the arena. Like, oh my God, you guys do that. And so finding that common thread, like it opened a door, and all of a sudden they're like, this. And here's the fascinating thing. There's a lady that I've served on a board with for multiple years. I asked her, I said, hey, I'm new to this. Can you bring me alongside all of these people and introduce me or show me who I need to talk to? And she goes, yeah, but like these people need shirts, but like, what else do you guys do? And I was like, oh, t-shirts, digital printing, promotional products, embroidery. Yeah. And she was like, you guys do promotional products? What? You guys make signs and banners? What? You guys do. And I was just like, fuck. Like, I have the storytelling, even in our name, Oklahoma Shirt Company. We should have been called like Oklahoma Oklahoma Stuff Company, or Oklahoma like promo
anything
company.
Anything you want. Yeah.
Anything you want. But I am not doing it. It was enlightening to me of like, I'm not doing a good job storytelling of all the other things that we offer so that we can have all these new opportunities to engage with people. So that even keeps me, fresh of like, okay, cool. I got to think about how we're broadcasting ourselves to the city and how we're representing our services. And so that's a little entrepreneurial challenge for me, and leveraging an opportunity in my city and in my circumstance to try to continue.
That shit's super exciting though. I bet you're like super fueled up on that. You're like, oh hell yeah, I'm at another level and I can like do this and that. Like that stuff rules. That's what I mean. Like that's what's exciting. And it's funny you brought that up too, because like Brett was saying like, oh, they didn't realize that they could do these, other items or whatever. And I noticed that too, where like we get pigeonholed into so many things. Like people are like, oh, they just do like t-shirts, hoodies, and hats. Like that's all we're good for or whatever. And it's like, I feel like more and more now that I'm like trying to go out and find customers and whatever, is like, I need to be like, hey, we do, tees, hoodies, hats,
buttons,
tote bags and buttons and fucking this and that and the other thing. Dude, buttons I'm excited for. Like that's my
buttons. I want
to
talk about buttons.
I'm bringing buttons back, baby.
Bringing buttons back.
Yeah, that's like a whole thing for me with the buttons is like full circle. And I've told the story before, but like when I owned the button company, when we first started, it was all just the manual fucking ka-chunk thing or whatever. I had like 6 of them and we were all making buttons, whatever. But back then I couldn't afford like an auto button maker. I was like, it's too above me to get one of those.
What about like putting the pins in the back, man? Like the spring pins?
The clicking them in. Yeah, you'd end up with this like indent in your thumb and you'd have like, copper all over yourself. But anyway, I just never got to that point. And then I don't know, a while ago, I did an episode with Dr. Don's, which that's all they do is buttons. And I said to him, I was like, yeah, I've always wanted this, whatever. He's like, oh, I got an auto button maker we're not using if you want it. And I was like, dude, hell yeah, I want it. Got it serviced, got it here. But now I'm making it this project that like, I'm excited for, but also like, I want my kids to do it. Like I've been talking about having them come in like after school and like have them make the buttons. And then eventually, like if it takes off, I'm going to kind of like hand it to my son or to my daughter or whatever. And just be like, you figure this out. You run this company. You can learn how to like create this and go with it or whatever. I just think it would be cool. Like that's kind of how I got started when I was 17 years old, is like, making buttons. And now I'm going to be like, all right, I got this formed. You do it.
$25 for 100 buttons.
Dude, I don't even know what they are right now. Like, that's my problem right now is I need to start looking at like what all these rates are and whatever. But,
you know what's funny is like my son Dash, he's 17 now, but I would bring him in to help at the shop here and there, and I'd pay him, whatever you pay people, $15 an hour. But now he's
Y'all are rich.
Yeah, well, in Texas, yeah, not in Oklahoma, but but now he's this crazy good guitar player, and so now like people are paying him like $50 an hour to play on their records and stuff. And he's like, I don't want to catch shirts.
Dad, I'm not doing that. That sucks. Yeah. No, I've seen that like on your stories and stuff of like him playing shows and stuff. I'm like, hell yeah, that rules.
It's
like,
so cool.
It's so cool when your kid like finds something and they like go for it and they're really good at it. Yeah, that was kind of like I got working papers for my son like last year, and I like never brought him into work because I felt bad being like, again, like I'm in my office like being like, hey Bill, production manager, like you're in charge of my son, like make sure he like does what he's supposed to do, you know what I mean? Like
this is your new dad.
Right. And I was just like, I felt weird about it. Like I could bring him in to fold or do this or that or whatever, and I'm just like, I don't know, like. So I'm hoping this button thing works, but I don't know. We'll see.
That was 15. I counted. We've said button 15 times in the past like 3 minutes.
So
16
buttons,
now.
They're coming back,
17.
dude. Everything else is coming back. Like I'm trying to get in on the like starting level of like buttons are back, baby. Like people are going to start putting them on their jean jackets again.
Totally.
It'll be a thing for sure. So kind of in that thing, I want to ask you real quick, Justin, like, is shirt of the month thing still a thriving thing for you, or is that like not as big of a deal anymore?
No, it's great. Great question. It is not what it once was, but it is still around. And kind of what we found is that like, it's becoming pretty crucial to our rhythms of like retail. So retail has been really great for us since the Thunder. That was like what was like in person, like walking in our doors retail, not online, but just that energy. So 13 years ago, we launched the Oklahoma Shirt of the Month. You've heard about that. Then like 5 years ago, we launched OSU, which in Oklahoma, we have like the Thunder, and then we have OU, Oklahoma University football, and OSU football. And then that's really it as far as like big things. So we just recently got our OU license, which was cool. I had to work way harder than I like should have. But we got that last year, and we're now launching. So we've launched an OU shirt of the month. We have an OSU shirt of the month. We have an Oklahoma shirt of the month, and we have our Thunder retail. And that kind of rounds out our like, this is who we are. These are our verticals. And what's cool about the OU and the OSU shirt of the month, it forces us to design new, fresh, licensed designs every month that we then have the opportunity to flush up with our retail. And so it keeps our retail constantly refreshing, keeps our online relevant. And I've leveraged the OU shirt of the month and the OSU shirt of the month with the universities. So in an in-kind way. So they're like OSU, for example, during a home game, they have spirit people running around throwing out. We've donated like 200 OSU shirt of the month shirts for every home game that they're throwing out in the crowd. And then they put our name up on the screen and point towards that. My hope is to do the same with OU. We're doing an in-kind relationship with them this year. That's going to allow us, again, I'm trying to like make sure my
name
company
out there as much as possible.
Well, in like ways that like, not like in very focused ways, like energy, sports, Oklahoma, large groups of people, energy, fun, Oklahoma Shirt Company. And I've recognized that like, it's like marketing, like it's tying things together that Nike talks about, like they spend however many $1 billion a year on their marketing, and they say only half of it works. And then they say the problem with that is like, we have to keep spending that same amount of money because we don't know which half is working. We just have to keep doing all of it. So for me, it's like, yeah, I don't have like tons of disposable income. So I'm trying to get clever with OU and OS. I'm trying to borrow all of these like champions in Oklahoma City of like, how can I just be associated with them. And when people think of them, they think of us. And if they think of like spirit gear or apparel or merch, like that's the, and again, because the arena, like so many people saw our t-shirts in the Thunder Arena that I just want to, and there's a lot of people who don't know that was us. And that's what I'm trying to shore up. I want to make sure that people are associating, they know that like we are the t-shirt people.
Well, the cool thing about that is it's not necessarily an ad being like, look at me, like work with us. It's like, we're already fucking working with them. You know what I mean? Like we're the company that the Thunder uses. We're the company that this team uses. We're the company that so-and-so uses. I feel like that holds so much more weight than just like a sign of like, hey, we print shirts. Hopefully you want to work with us instead of the other guy. Yeah. So I think you're doing that right. I think it's a cool approach. It's got to cost you a shitload, but I mean, it hopefully a shitload more comes in. I guess the plan, I guess.
That's the, like, it's the reinvestment. You know, I feel like after what happened yesterday, it feels like, but like this year with us, it's been our best year. And I can like pause at the peak. Like right now, my business is healthier than it's ever been, not just because of that. Like we've been working, like Brett has said, for the past 3 years, we've been working really hard to like, I laid off 30% of my friends 3 years ago. That fucking sucked. I want to make sure I don't ever have to do that again. And we're growing up, and sustainability and what it means to be professional apparel decorators. This is like, I was talking to my team earlier this morning, like I used to want to be like the Oklahoma Shirt Company. We print for every church, school, business, nonprofit. Anybody who needs it, we want you. And while that is still true, I'm also recognizing if I'm going to work with these other champions of industry, it's time for me to let the garage bands and the garage printers and the younger guys and the younger businesses and girls that are starting things that are much smaller than us, like it's time for me to like let them like find their come up and them to find their like lane in the industry, and me not feel so territorial about boxing them out, because I now know how hard it is to interface with these really profitable customers and sustainable, and the ones that we want to be making with, and that they want to funnel their money locally. But so many of these big businesses in your own towns don't know how to spend money locally, because us as providers, we're not set up to receive them. Like it's just complicated. So that's kind of, I'm learning to pivot of like this is our lane, and this is how we can work smarter and not necessarily harder.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. The main reason why I wanted to ask about the shirt of the month stuff was just kind of like a lot of people are tightening their belts nowadays. I feel like with like the recession feels and whatnot, and a subscription service to a t-shirt, I feel like would be on the list of like, we probably don't need this necessarily. So I didn't know if you were feeling that a whole lot. And
definitely feel it.
Hard nodding, I'm guessing that is a thing.
No, we feel it. We launched the OU shirt of the month 2 months ago. We have like 150 subscribers. You need I think you need 500 plus to make it kind of worth your time. And if you can dip below 500 and bring it back, I really think we're going to grow the OU to probably, I don't know, 2,000, 2,500 would be like sick. And then our Oklahoma one right now is about 2,000. And then our OSU one is about 600. So that gives you a picture of like, it's very different than what it was when it was 14,500 subscriptions. But it's now not the most important thing that we do. It's just one of the feathers in our cap that we just consistently have this product vertical.
Yeah. Brett, what else are you involved in these days? I feel like you're in every little thing that I see.
I don't know. I mean, I think that years ago when we created 2021, we created Made Lab, and that became like so many people in the industry were like, oh my gosh, we've been looking for someone to do XYZ. Can you guys do that? And then we're like, yeah, sure. And then suddenly we're doing all these things that that are kind of overwhelming. But certainly my passion is like bringing people together and helping and educating. And so that's where kind of a lot of the events and conferences kind of stem from. Made Lab, of course, is still doing a lot of like research and development and that type of stuff that we do for testing fabrics and all of that. I was doing way more things, like having a a creative agency, which didn't work out super well for me. Of course,
yeah, because
All Made Apparel.
you separated your design team at Printed Threads, right, into a separate
Yeah.
agency. And are they? I'm
Yeah.
guessing they're back now.
Well, no, actually, it's really interesting. Like it's really hard to make design like efficient, and especially if it's in house. And what I found is like, we can sit around and like ideate and be creative all day long, but like we just need to get something on a piece of paper and send it, right? And so we were having a hard time with kind of dialing that in. And then we created the agency, which kind of helped dial that in, and that kind of dissipated. And so the agency is no longer, and then the people that were in the agency are just like freelance now, which is kind of where they wanted to be. And it's been a lot better for us because now it's like, hey, I've got $300 to pay for this design. Will you design something? And it's like way more formulaic, I guess. And it's helped us as a company like understand the value of design or what the value of that time is.
It's also nice for you too, because if they're not on payroll, they're like, well, it took 2 weeks to do this design. You're like, well, I paid you hourly the entire time to do that. Like,
yeah.
How about I say this design's 300 and then you're going to crank through it and get it done in the afternoon. And then I paid your 300. I got my artwork for my customer and we moved on.
Totally.
Like, it seems a little easier that way.
It's very real. I have a friend that years ago said, there's no limit to how long it can take an hourly employee to do something. And so if you think of, and like, I hate, I don't want to be rude. There's a lot of people that are working really hard and making things happen that are working hourly. But like, if you don't have those guardrails and you don't have like, hey, this is supposed to take this long. And if it doesn't take that long, we need to have a discussion about why it didn't take that long. It's just harder to do with art because it's like,
art's a really hard one because it's like you have to have that creative space into it. I feel like it's one of those things, like I used to do a lot of art where when you're done with the project, you look at it and you're like, oh, if I had to redo that right now, I could do it in like 10 minutes. But there was so much time like changing type or like moving this here or tweaking this here or creating a whole thing and be like, nah, I don't want to do that. And then you do something else. And it's like that whole process has to be brought in. It was funny. I did speaking in that, hourly people taking advantage or whatever. It was like I had an episode with Juan recently from Squeegee Prints, and he was saying that was like his saving grace to his shop recently was basically like he realized his shop was losing money because they were taking too long to do projects. And he went through and basically did like every single step to his shop and got it down to like, all right, well, I can code a screen in this amount of time. I can do this in this amount of time. And then basically like gave an average or an allowance and was like, all right, well, this is what every employee here needs to strive to on time. And like, if you're not hitting these times, then we need to like evaluate, like, why is it taking you 4 minutes when it took me 1 minute? And then he realized like after that period of time that obviously he is way more profitable now because he knows how long it takes to do certain projects. So, but again, you can't really do that with artwork necessarily. You kind of have to just be like, all right, well, roughly it's going to take you a day to do this project or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think art over the next, that's our next big disruptor. I mean, it's already happening. You're seeing it. But in our industry, I'm interested to see where art goes. It was interesting even the other day. If you haven't, we had a customer send in an online quote form request for these shirts, and they were very politically charged. It was in memoriam of an assassination that just happened, and it was very like charged with language. And our philosophy here, and I quelched this early with our team, was like, guys, we're the free press. Like, we're not going to print hate speech. We're not going to print like true derogatory things. But if someone is saying something and it's in support of their belief or their vision, and we decide that it's not unkind, then we're going to print it.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, I knew that this one was going to be spicy. Well, I took, and I dare you guys to do this for real. Like, I took the customer prompt, and he spelled it out. He's like, I want a black hoodie, and on one sleeve, I wanted to say freedom, and on the other sleeve, I wanted to say something else. And then on front left chest, I want like an American flag with 3 nails that are making a cross. and then I want this thing down here on the stomach, and then I want this very specific text outline. He wrote it all out. I copied the prompt, I pasted it right into ChatGPT, and I hit go. And it spit me out like all of the art notes that we would traditionally, like a customer care team member would interpret the customer's art and then give true art direction to our designers. And then they would kick it back and then they'd have a mock. But dude, I'm telling you, if there's a world where my customer care team can take customer prompts, dump it in, and it spits back out a mock that isn't print ready, but it can at least communicate an idea.
Damn near close. Yeah.
And it took 30 seconds.
It's insane, dude. There's so many things daily now. Like I follow all these artists and all these people that are into this stuff. And even in like our own text groups where it's like, oh, well, I don't use ChatGPT anymore. I use this or that or whatever program. And it's like, even Photoshop beta now is like constantly updating. Like I saw one the other day with Photoshop where it's like, I feel like we just got out information to other printers that you could use this upscaler AI like software or whatever. And now it's like, Photoshop has it built into the beta now.
Native.
So you can literally click like, oh, upscale this image. And it's like, boom, done. And I'm like, dude, it's so fast now to do shit. And again, with like Brian being out for maternity leave, like even today I was doing some stuff and I was like, oh, well, I could just upscale this real quick. Like before we would have had to sit here and like get out the tablet and like draw in clean lines and like fix this. Now it's like click, boom, it full vector, like everything's ready to go. And it's like, it's insane now. Like if you're even remotely artistic and close to what you need, I feel like you can get something that's 99% of the way there with AI or whatever tool. And again, like I really want to push like creative artists to do their own thing, but even I can take an idea to an artist now. Like you said, like I could take the customer's notes, make something in ChatGPT or whatever, and then give it to a freelancer and be like, hey, they approved this. This is roughly what they're looking for. Make it unique and make it your own, but this is what they're looking for. Then it stops them from like 85 revisions because it's like, we already did the revisions in AI. Like you just need to polish it and make it your own.
I think what people don't want to acknowledge, in our industry is as you, and Brett did this, as you grow and you get bigger and you start working with more and more businesses that are bigger than you, what I have found over the years is you have to become an agency. And I work with agencies, and agencies have really expensive employees, and agencies get to spend, they bill for $100 to $250 an hour for creative, and they get to spend time and they build all these huge, like in-depth things. And for us as decorators, the expectations are on us to be agencies and to provide art and to provide logos and to provide like all of these things, but we only get to charge $50 an hour or $100 an hour for creative. Or maybe my screen printing company doesn't have an art department. I just have a technical artist that's supposed to take your art and now make it printable. Right. And I think that that's something that like is disruptive for us, and that there will be like, if you can leverage art and you can be more like an agency, but you don't have the expense of an agency, then now you've added value to your customer, and your business now has something to offer that, for this season. We'll never be able to charge what we need to for art. And you see what happens when print shops try to create agencies inside of themselves. Like it just doesn't. I have tension with my art department of like just trying to then be a profitable vertical along with like honoring them as artists and, shielding them from our customers, and also trying to keep focus of what we should be doing. And art is just hard.
Yeah. No, I think it's definitely a thing that's shifting in everybody's shop. And again, for us, it's like we've always used freelancers. We don't have like an in-house art team. Like, again, I have the technical person, which is Brian, who will do all these steps and clean everything up and make it good for print. But like, if I need art from anybody, I'm going to my list of 10 freelancers that we use. And again, like I'm paying them whatever and charging the customer whatever. But there are a lot of these customers that are like, oh, I need this simple-ish artwork and I don't really want to pay, or I'm only going to pay $50, $75 or whatever. Yeah. To me, that's where the AI is like, cool. Like if you're going to pay $50, I'm going to use this. Or if I need to clean this up, I'm going to do this and whatnot. But yeah, that's a whole thing right now. Brett, you were kind of talking about MadeLab and kind of what it is now. And I do feel like I hear more and more like you're doing testing for like, SAMR or whatever. you're doing. Are you guys focusing more on educational content for just printers to show up and do, or is that kind of not as big of a thing anymore? It's more a focus on the events that you're trying to do?
We're trying to create a better method of delivery for all of our education, and we've got just a crazy amount of content and that we want to kind of put out. But we're working on that model right now. We have our training and support that we do, where we send someone out to print shops to help educate them on just create SOPs for every department. Kind of like what you were saying that your friend did for himself. But we find a lot of print shops that have been around for a long time, and maybe they're growing or they've kind of been running things haphazardly, or even people that have purchased a print shop that don't really know how things are supposed to be. Maybe they just hear from the person that's been there for forever that, yeah, this is the way we've always done it,
Right.
So we send people out, and we have like a bunch of kind of stock SOPs that these are the way things should be in every department, which is stuff that we want to publish, and is what we're working on in the background. We also
is that going to be something that they can just purchase, like a kit? Like, okay, I want to buy the SOP for the laser, or I want to buy the SOP for this piece of equipment or whatever? Or is that like, how would that work?
It would be behind a paywall, but not necessarily a purchase per piece type of thing. But yeah, I mean, and then of course, like every event that we've done, most of them we have recorded. We've got tons of cool content and information out there. And nowadays, like, as you probably know, like you can record anything and, transcribe it and throw it into ChatGPT, and now you have a blog and you have all this information that you can use. So we've got all kinds of, things that we're working on. It's just hard because it's like, I have to make sure that Printed Threads is running smoothly so that I get a paycheck. And of course, Ryan and Tom both have the same kind of situation. So none of us are dedicated full time. Well, I say none of us are dedicated full time to it, but we all put a lot of hours into it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, my focus has always been like on the events, and we've certainly, I think 21, 22, we did I think in the year 2022, I think we did like somewhere between 30 and 40 events that year. Which was kind of like it was like the COVID hangover. It was like, people just want to go out and do stuff. So we're just going to do a lot of stuff. And that nearly killed me. So we've really dialed it back to doing less events. And I think, generally it's hard for people to pay for flights and hotels and an event ticket. It's a big expense. So we understand that.
Well, you have there's an event coming up soon, isn't there, Brett?
What's funny is kind of talking about how this is a weird year. We had a lot of events planned for this year and we pushed a bunch of them to the fall. But yeah, so just to say, we had a great Sales Inc. summit that we did with Kevin Baumgart in Los Angeles. That was a really, really great event that we'll probably repeat. We're repeating WB Camp, which this will be our 4th year doing it, 5th year doing it. I can't remember, but so that'll be a great event in October. But kind of like one of our highlight events for the year is Print Hustlers that you guys have both been to.
I want to step back real quick though. Like, I know these things happen, like Print Hustlers or the Sales Inc. or the Water Base or whatever. Is that all a certain person like Kevin or something coming to you and being like, hey, would MadeLab or whatever want to partner up with us to create this event because you guys know how to do events? Or how does that work? Because again, like even me, like I originally thought it was like Bruce was doing Print Hustlers, and then all of a sudden Brett was involved, and then it's like Justin's doing this thing, and it's like, how are you guys getting this to be like an event thing now? Like,
yeah, I think that it all started with the very first ThreadX, which you went to in Palm Springs. Mm-hmm. We had decided at the time, I was on the board of SGIA, and we had decided that we needed to do something to bring more attention to the garment decorators, the apparel decorators, or whatever they called it at the time. And so I was like, we could throw an event, and created ThreadX through that. And we did that for a few years. And Bruce approached me saying, "Hey, I really like what you've done with ThreadX. I would like to see if you would help me do Print Hustlers." And so that's kind of how that came about, was him just basically asking for me to help. And then we just kind of took it over. For the Sales Inc. Summit, that was Kevin coming to us saying, "Hey, you guys do events, and I don't want to try to reinvent this thing. Can you help me?"
They want to go and say their thing, but they don't want to do the event planning. Like, that's the worst part by far, is like, we need this many chairs, or do we have the license for this, or do we have enough fire extinguishers or bathrooms or some shit? Like,
well, you have to build a website. You have to have the registration software. You have to have the knowledge of, like, I mean, the reality is, like, yeah, making sure that everything in the background happens. Like, are there seats? Is there a PA? Are we going to have a videographer? Like, are there enough bathrooms? Are we going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner? If we have dinner, where are we going to like, what place in this town can fit 200 people to have dinner? Like, where do we do that? You know, it's like, who do I call? Like, do we have an official hotel? If so, where is it? How do we get in touch with that person? Like, there's just a lot of weird stuff that goes on in the background of it. And, like, generally I've thought that was like a lot of fun and over the years, but, you know, sometimes
not anymore.
You know, Sarah was always like, "I don't want to talk to you for like the 2 weeks before you have an event." It's like, because I'm in this, like, oh my God, did I get everything right? And it's certainly, like, Print Hustlers is one thing, and I think that we do a really good job of putting that event together. But ThreadX is like another level up, where everything costs twice as much, and it's just everything about it has to be perfect. And so, like, I'm just on pins and needles the whole time, waiting for, like, some terrible thing to happen, you know? So it's an interesting.
I feel like with a lot of these events, though, too, is it's kind of like, you need to have some kind of, you were saying that Print Hustlers is at one level and then ThreadX is at another level. I feel like it's at that point too, where we realize when we get to a certain point in our business where it's like, you have to have a certain level of buy-in. Like, ThreadX might be more expensive or more of like a, you know, an executive style event or something, but it's because the content that's going to be talked about there, the level of people that are going to be there are at a more serious level, where if you were just a garage shop or just starting out, you might not understand half of the shit that we're talking about at this point. So I feel like Print Hustlers is one of those where it's like, sweet spot is right in the middle, where for me, Print Hustlers every year, the reason why I like it a lot is I go to it and I just get to go and sit down and, like, listen to Justin's beautiful voice and throw candy and just fucking whatever else he's doing.
Thank you.
And I get to just chill and, like, be inspired for 2 days or whatever, 3 days or whatever it's going to be. Like, I go to all these other events, and again, this is just for me, but, like, I do all these other industry things where I always have something I have to do. It's like, oh, I have to be here. I have to talk here. I have to fucking be over here. I'm going to talk to these people or whatever. It's like, I almost get to go to Print Hustlers with a fake mustache on and just, like, sit in a chair and be like, I'm just listening like everybody else. And it's topics, and, like, the things I take away from it are more shit that's like, this guy's not even in my industry. This guy's a photographer. This guy owns a salsa company, or this guy owns a whatever, you know, a record studio. And it's like, I get more inspiration to come back and work on what we were talking about earlier, like my marketing or my focus or my whatever, from those people than I would if some other shop went up there and was like, oh, last year I introduced lean. And it's like, I want to hear how this dude created salsa. Like, that's going to make me want to do this thing. And now I eat nothing but Renfro's. So like, it worked. But yeah,
hey, did you get that peach yet? Did you get that peach Renfro's yet?
I did not. I'm a
go for
peach when it comes to
go
salsa.
for peach. I'm telling you, one time, just go for treat yourself. Peach is fire.
Blackberry Serrano. Blackberry Serrano is mine.
Well, you can basically see Renfro's from your place, right?
I rarely buy salsa these days. I just stop by.
Just walk over and
there's like a sample shelf in the front. It's like, hey, Doug, see you later.
I know. Justin's got some right here. There you go.
There it is. That's the Printed Threads version.
That's the Petey's collab.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's very nice.
Nothing better than having a jar of salsa.
I think I've always looked at things in this way. If you are so focused on what other people in this industry are doing, or if you're so focused on your competition,
You're already behind.
Totally, because like you could be in front, but as soon as you start looking backwards, like someone passes you. Yeah. So you got to go find your inspiration from other places and people that have different perspective. And so that's why our conferences traditionally haven't been like people getting up and talking about screen printing, because it's like, man, like I feel like I've written that book already. I don't need to keep reading it. So, so getting someone, and to be completely honest, like my favorite print hustlers that we've done was the Newport Beach one with Nigel Barker, except for all the AV issues that we had, because I had a few strokes through that thing.
That was tough.
It was tough, but that's the stuff that happens. But anyways, like getting someone like Nigel Barker to get on stage and speak, there's a lot of these moments that are a gamble, right? Like having Steve Albini get up on stage and speak is a gamble. I don't know if it's going to resonate. I don't know if it's going to hit, but like, I know that he's done really important things in our lifetime. And I think that people should hear about it, right? Nigel Barker, like, I had no idea, and he got up and he just killed it. Like, it was like, how do you replace that? And then I have the moment of, how do we do another Print Hustlers without Nigel Barker? Like, who's going to be that good, And so that's where I'm always banging my head, I think, last year with Derek Hess, like it was over a lot of people's heads, or it wasn't Nigel Barker, but it was very interesting. And I think paying homage to the people that have helped us get to where we are is extremely important.
I think the thing with Derek Hess, and again, like not to whatever, is like, again, like I've looked up to his artwork and I've seen it everywhere and all these things. I just feel like he's a dude that's a creative, that creatives came to him and were like, hey, do you want to come talk about this stuff? And I felt like he woke up that morning and was like, oh yeah, I got to go speak at this thing, and like grabbed a handful of films and was just like, I'm going to go show these people like what I've done. And he was like, yellow. And then he was just like, he was talking about like what he had done, but like the people who really know and respect it, like you can walk up and see a film on the ground. And like for us as screen printers who we print films and stuff, it's like, oh, we hit print, we have a film, and then we're like, oh, this is what it is. He's like, no, I'm going to add marker and I'm going to take a razor blade and I'm going to scrape things away and I'm going to like make this into this thing. And that's where your mind gets blown with that kind of thing, is like, oh, this dude creates art and he doesn't think anything of it because this is just what he's always done. But for us, we look at it and we're like, oh, there's way more possibilities to this. Like I can add shit and take away shit. I don't just have to hit print. To me, that was like the biggest takeaway with his stuff, is like just getting extra creative with the tools that we already have. But I guess take a step back, because you guys are in it. Like the hard part to talk about it is because you guys are there. Like I'll try to, for the people listening who haven't gone to Print Hustlers or want to go again, like, what is the focus of Print Hustlers? Because some people think it is like a trade show or something, and it's really not. Like, what is the idea going into it of like, okay, I want to attend this. What the fuck is it?
I like, Dylan, Brett, I'll go short. I like what you said, Dylan. Like kind of your testimony is you get to just show up and be there and participate. And that is, I think that's the true heart behind it, is like most of the people that are coming are in the know. I was impressed last year when I asked like, how many are new people and how many are repeats? And about half the room was new people. So that's cool. That's a good sign of like, there's new lifeblood coming in and there's still like a good, like, arrangement of people that keep coming back. But that's why I invest, I bring my team. And it's because they don't get out. Me bringing my team to trade shows, trade shows are kind of morphing. But it's one of those things that when I brought my team to a trade show, it's like, let's try to go to these classes and then walk the show. And then maybe, oh, hey, I got to go catch a dinner with these people and I got to go do that. And you guys do this. And let's just stay at home. Let's just whatever. And let's go to this Ryonet thing. And there's just like, it's all over the place. Cool, energy, exciting, but like not team building, not making me a better business owner. It's exposing me to new things. And it's like going to the state fair. You know, it's just like there's a bunch of junk food and like fireworks and it's fucking rules and I can't afford any of it. But I'm here. Whereas at Print Hustlers is very much like business investment, business development. It's going to make you a better leader. It's going to make your leaders better leaders. If you can afford to bring, like, certainly the business owner should come, but if you can afford to bring any of your key leadership people, man, bring them. Even just, it's hard. It sucks buying plane tickets for 5 people. It just does, no matter like where you're at in the game.
Sure.
It's hard buying rooms for people. But if you're not able to invest continuing education, and if you're not able to invest in your team in a way that like is bettering them, then Made Lab and Printavo is putting together an opportunity for you to just show up, have a good time, meet some new people, and be better. I promise you'll be better or think about things a little differently on the other side of it. And if you can bring your team, you like make these moments with them where like you'll be sitting in a meeting back at your shop 2 months later and someone will be like, hey, remember what that economist said? Or, hey, do you remember when like this thing and that? Oh yeah. And so there's just like this good shared experience that for me personally, it gives me energy to do what I'm supposed to do for the next year. And it's like my good, like little kind of touch base with the industry.
And the cool thing about that too is like I was saying, you get to just show up and sit down, but it's kind of like, if you ever go to ISS or any other trade show, it's like, okay, I gotta get there at 10 because I want to go to this seminar, or because I go to, it's like Warp Tour or whatever, where it's like, well, I really want to see that band, but this band's playing over here and I got to be over here so I don't miss this one, but I'm going to miss this one. And it's like trade shows are like that, where you're like, oh, well, I want to visit this booth, but actually there's something going on over here. I'm going to miss that shit. That sucks, whatever. Print Hustlers is like, you get to think when somebody's on stage and talking, but you guys are very good at like basically herding cattle. You're like, okay, like, this is going to start this time. Everyone get into the auditorium and sit down. And then it's like, listen, take notes. Okay, we're going to have lunch. We're going to break. We're going to come back. We're going to do this thing. And it's like, you don't miss anything. You're there for the entire thing. Every break you get to go out and you end up sitting at tables with people that you'd never met before. And you get to, talk to different people. And then you go back in and you do the thing and whatever. It's just like, it's a really inspiring event. It's not like, oh, I have to go and like think about equipment, or I have to think about this, or my team's going to miss this project or whatever. You just get to go do your thing. And also on top of that, like if you are doing this trip, like take advantage of it. Like you guys usually do them in great spots. So it's like go a day early and then stay 2 days later, like explore the city. Like I'm going to, I think the first night I'm going to downtown and I'm going to go see Park and Boys Night Out play. Like
that's tight.
So I bought tickets already like a month ago to be like, oh, I'm going to go to this, and then I'm going to go to this show, and then I'm going to come back. And then like, yeah, there's a bunch of fun stuff in Chicago to see. So I guess Brett, continue. I derailed the train, but what do you think? Great. I guess.
I mean, the reality is like when I plan an event, I think of like, what would make me want to go to this event? And it's like, okay, it needs to be in a city that's easy enough to get to. It needs to be somewhere that I would want to go anyway. It needs to be in a cool facility, and the content has to be something where I feel like I can go be educated and utilize that information tomorrow. So like if you think about, I think the first time I really just decided like, I'm going to make sure that every piece of content that is delivered in this conference can be used was the Newport Beach one, where it was like, I want people to walk away from this conference and on Monday change their business, you know? And so I feel like I did a good I feel like I did a good job on that one.
Pat yourself on the back. It's all right. You did it.
But it's so hard because you're like, okay, I sit down in this chair and I think, who could speak? You know, because it's like, it's not like this, someone's handing me a bunch of like ideas. But the reality is like, this year was SNL 50, right? We watched a lot of the Saturday Night Live stuff that it was very cool to watch. A lot of the people from SNL came from Second City.
Yeah.
And that's where we're hosting the event this year. So it's like this iconic improv school. And then when I was talking to them about renting out their theater, because here's the other thing, I want them to be in like interesting places. I want it to be in a theater or something like that. But when I talked to them about renting out their theater, they were like, well, we actually do keynotes if you'd be interested in that. And I was like, what would it be about? And they're like, well, like using improv for sales is a big topic that we do. And I was like, what does that mean? And they're like, well, some people aren't good at talking to other people. So like,
or like learning things on the fly. Yeah.
Like, what do you say on the fly? Like, how do you shape this conversation? How do you lead it to like selling a product? And I was like, you know what our industry is traditionally bad at doing? Selling stuff.
Sales.
So it's like Justin over here that can't sell a promotional product to save his life because he can't even talk about it. Right. It's like, nope. And so I was like, man, that's really good. So that's where we kind of put together this is the anchor of what this year is going to be about. I think it's a good year to talk about a lot of sales stuff because
for sure.
People have talked about having a harder sales year. And so it's like, great, we'll put all this together. And then you remember from last year, we I had engaged with this economist originally for ThreadX because I thought, okay, ThreadX is kind of this executive level event. It's the people that own the biggest companies in our industry. Probably the economy stuff is going to be really relevant and interesting to them. So we fed him a bunch of industry data. He came out and delivered this in fantastic presentation. And everybody afterwards is like, that was the coolest thing. And I'm like, no one expected an economist to be entertaining and interesting, and everybody walked away with this holy shit, like I feel like I understand some stuff now.
Some of that, all right, I'm going to say this real quick. That was the one thing that pissed me off last year was the economist guy. Again, like I'm probably just smooth brain dumb, whatever. But like
hot take.
I had all, well, I'm just saying like I had all this feeling of like, okay, there's a recession and like shit's slowing way down. Everybody I talk to feels it. You know, we go talk to each other in the wild and we're like, hey, how's the shop doing? The first answer is always it's great. Everything's great. We're good. Shop's running awesome. But in reality, we're fucking sweating bullets because like shit's weird and like orders aren't coming in, whatever. And I go into this thing and I see this economist come up and he's like, yeah, you know, the economy says like everything, like there's no recession. Like these are the numbers. This is the thing. And then he's like, yeah, but like CEOs and like people who make decisions all say it's in a recession. I'm like, well, isn't that a fucking recession then? Like, like if the people who order the shit from us think there's a recession, then they're probably not going to order shit from us. So like him just sitting up there being like, everything's fine. Like, look at it. Here's the trend. We're going to go up. I'm like, dude, fuck you. Like nobody's ordering anything. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So again, like it was great to see the numbers and it was inspiring to come back to the shop and be like, guys, I know what I'm saying.
It's going to be fine.
We're going to be okay. We're going to be good. This guy
the purchasing manager's index says we're good.
The guy says, follow this blue line because it usually follows that one. But in my mind, the whole time, I was like, you're out of your goddamn mind. Like, there's no way you're telling me everything's fine when, like, everybody in this room is like, oh, my God, when are the orders coming back? So, but again, like, to that point, you go and you get fired up and excited and, like, you get to see, like, the reality of certain things. And it makes you think, like, okay, well, this hopefully is going to come back around and whatever's going to happen. But yeah, I felt so alone. Like, we walked out after that one. I think it was like before a break or something. And like, everyone was like, oh my God, it was so good. And I was like, I'm on fire right now. Like, I don't know what is going on. So
was he wrong? Like, look, it's been almost a year since you heard that. Like, you know,
I mean, things that got better, but I don't know. I mean, there's been so many changes with things, but
you know, what's crazy is so the graphs that he shows, like I have some one-on-one time with him throughout the year, and we've been plotting all of Printed Threads data along with that graph, and it's exactly the same. It's like I feel like I can see into the future a little bit and understand like, okay, next month we're going to have a bad month. So we're going to gear down, no contract labor, no overtime. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
I'm not saying he was wrong. I'm just saying in the moment he was like, guys, look, we're fine. And I was like, fucking, I'm not fine, bro. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I don't know. That was my only thing with that. But yeah, in general, like everything, with that stuff is pretty great. Do you have all the speakers figured out for this year?
Yeah. So we've got those two. So the Second City is doing their kind of improv for sales. Alex is going to do his economic report. So you might remember from the very first ThreadX in Palm Springs, I had a good friend of mine who's been in marketing for his whole career speak. He was the guy that spoke about, he used to work at Groupon. Do you happen to remember that at all?
I think so.
It was
yeah,
a long time ago. But his name's Mike Nemchek. And so I reached out to him. I was like, I really try not to recycle speakers, but I feel like it's been long enough that I could do it. And so Mike's going to come speak about kind of how marketing has evolved. And what we know is, like, I think we talked about it earlier on this call, like for us, like, social media was like the most important thing to me in 2017. Like, we got to make sure we're posting every other day and chase the algorithm and do all this stuff. And then in like 2021, I was like, I don't think social media matters anymore. It's too crowded. It's like, and so we've spent $1,000 like making a cool video and editing this post, and we post it and we get 30 likes, and you're like, what? Anyways, I wanted someone to come speak about like how marketing has changed. And he's run marketing for McDonald's and Velveeta cheese, the big ones, and Ford, which is
that
a car
deluxe
company.
Mac Velveeta. That's where it's at. That's when we knew in my house that like my parents had like a good month. We got like Velveeta and shells, not like Kraft. So.
Oh, wow. That's hilarious. But yeah, so he's going to come speak on marketing. There is a print shop in Dallas. And do you guys remember, like, in the early Print Hustlers, Bruce would always interview a print shop?
Yep.
And so I called Bruce, is like, hey, I'm putting you to work. You're going to interview somebody. So he's going to interview.
Needs to do something.
I know. He's been off
day.
the clock for some time now. Yeah. But so there is a shop in Dallas called Promos Inc. The shop owner's name is Carla Dooley. They run 60 automatics, and this is a privately owned shop that she built from scratch. And so Bruce is going to interview her about how that worked. So I thought that would be pretty interesting and inspiring.
Yeah, especially in today's climate. Like, what's that like? Are you still running all 60? What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. AI is obviously a very important topic right now, and I think not like we've kind of gone past this. I went to an SNS event a few weeks ago, and they had a speaker come talk about AI, which is great. You need to be on the pulse of it, but like it was pretty topical. It was more of like AI exists, and these are some things that you can do with AI, and I felt a little bit like, yeah, we know that now. Like, let's move. Yeah, let's get into the meat and potatoes of like.
I want somebody to get up. I want somebody to get up and talk about AI agents and how we can actually put them in place in the office. Like, I keep hearing more and more of like, oh yeah, you can totally like have an agent that you train to be like doing quotes and answering the basic shit, and then basically they hand it off to a customer service person once it's at a certain point. Like, the tire kickers are gone, and now it's like a real like hot lead kind of thing. Like, that's what I want to learn more about. I'm already in learning about the art side of it. I want to hear like how I can apply these to like
totally
the shop. Whereas like, okay, we're figuring things out as far as how many prints we can do an hour or what this mode is or whatever. But the office stuff is what I really want to hear about. I want to hear about how I can program Susanna to fucking answer the phone and like, get at least the information and then hand it off to somebody else, because that's what I feel like. I keep hearing about these things, but I never like get the full like, oh, this is doable.
Totally. And that's so I got connected with a guy named Rob Cressy, who is kind of an AI consultant who he goes into businesses and helps them create an AI strategy and that type of thing. So I thought, he'd be a great addition for this year's conference. I think it's super relevant. And even on my call with him, kind of to learn about him, some of the things he was explaining to me. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I felt like, okay, this will be a good exercise. So that should be pretty exciting. And I think it honestly, like, for people that are listening to the Shirt Show and they're like, okay, this is my question about AI. Like, I would love for people to email me and say, like, hey, this is important to me. That way we could like feed it to the speakers and say, like, hey, even marketing, any of these things. It's like, my email is brett@madelab.io. Like, if you email me, like, these are the questions that I'd like to hear, like, I'll send them to the speakers and see if we can incorporate them into their talks.
I can make a post about it too, and then have it linked to you. But yeah, I would be keen on figuring out what people really want to hear about with that whole thing.
Totally. So we're going to have Megan Spires speak. And Megan has been the VP of Sales and Marketing for Bella Canvas for a really, really long time. And she's a great person to know. And I just kind of wanted to hear like an industry perspective of what it's like to sell T-shirts and what we're going to do to sell a more expensive T-shirt as you know, what's going on with tariffs and all of that stuff happens. But I feel like because of their affiliation with some really high-end brands, that should be a good person to speak to, like how to sell expensive garments. I
want to go off on a sidebar on this because I've had this conversation a few times now. I feel like with certain brands I've worked with, and I want to get your guys' take because I feel like you're involved in this kind of thing as well. With these brands, I'm not gonna mention any brand specifically, but what do you think their target should be or how they should do their marketing? Do you feel like they should make ads and spend millions of dollars and all these other things on the end consumer, teenager, or, you know, 20-something person that they think wears their shirts? Or do you think that they should focus all of their marketing on the print shops or the decorators and getting the information out to them and being like, okay, this is how we can help the decorators more? Because in my opinion, I feel like it's to the decorators, because I know in my shop specifically, or any of you guys, like, my salespeople are picking their top 5 or 10 brands that they're using, and those are the ones they are pitching to the everyday customer who comes in. Like, we have our top 3 that we use every single day, where a customer comes in and they're like, I want T-shirts. We're like, okay, cool. Here's the quote for the Bella 3001, the Comfort Color 1717, and the Gildan Hammer, or whatever it is. And it's like, okay, they fucking are picking from those 3 shirts. Like, if you were Bella Canvas or Gildan or Independent or whatever, I would be going to every print shop ever and being like, well, this is why our garment prints the best. This is why the dischargeability of this. This is the, you know, whatever. Like, it could be AS Color, where they know, okay, our print surface is amazing and you're going to get this type of print out of this. So my printers dictate to our salespeople, don't sell that shirt again. Like, that thing sucks to print on. Like, the fibrillation on this is terrible, or the printability, or this is bleeding, or whatever. They come in and they tell the salespeople, don't sell that shirt. Or they're going to do the opposite too and come in and be like, hey, the print on this AS Color shirt was amazing. Sell more of those, because it makes our job so much easier. So that's what I'm saying, is I keep seeing these companies marketing to like streetwear or whatever, like just people end user. And it's like, those people aren't making the decisions to sell more apparel for you. It's the decorators who are telling the people buying them, this is what you want. So again, this is a total sidebar. I just want to get your guys' opinion on this, because I feel like I'm in crazy land where, why are they not doing this? Like, why are they not pushing more to the decorators?
We certainly, we sell what our customers request if they ask it. Otherwise,
but like, how many of them are requesting? Like 1 in 10?
Very, very little. Not even that. Right. I mean, the large majority of the time we are steering
They're just
people
like, I want
towards
hoodies, I want tees, I want a hat. And you're like, oh, well, I like the Richardson 112 and I like the independent. Like, for us, our go-to hoodie usually is independent. We're like, we know the consistency, we know how it feels, we know this, whatever. That, like, our instant quote to somebody is, okay, we're going to use the SS 4500 or something.
Yep.
So
I think that, like, I think that it's kind of both. Like, I'm not sure what they would spend their advertising dollars on, like, to win us over. I think about, like, our ink manufacturers, you know, like, what are the ink guys using to influence Oklahoma Shirt Company to use their inks? Well, they're not. Like, we've just struck enough people that we found the cheapest ink that works for us, and this is what we do, and it's there. Like so I don't think they're working very hard because it's probably really, really hard to do sales to like these individual print shops.
I think what it is it's the nerdy stuff. It's like the shit that Brett's doing at Made Lab, where it's like he's testing apparel types for whatever distributor. He's going to know at the end of that study that these are printing this way, and like I said, the dischargeability of this or the whatever feel of this. Okay, this is the nerdy stuff that the print shops want to know. And it's the same with, like you were saying, ink. Like that's what happened with me and Monarch is like I used Woolflex for like 10 years. And I was just like, all right, this ink works. But, certain inks we have to do 2 passes on because we call it a fruit roll up print if we don't, because it looks a certain way. And then Monarch came in and was like, hey, our inks are super opaque. They're matte. And this is, they have a good hand feel or whatever. And I was like, all right, prove it to me. They fucking mixed an ink and I put it side by side with the other. And I was like, yep. And that's what Upstate was doing at the time, was all these, like, just like you, Justin, like bright poppy stuff and whatever. And that's what sold me, is the nerd aspect of like, well, the fucking cure, blah, 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 blah. And like, I was like, all right, cool, sold. And I feel like these manufacturers should just invest in sending out knowledgeable, nerdy people to print shops and be like, hey, well, the printability is it. Let's just bring some, throw it in your test run and tell me the difference. Like if it doesn't print better than what you're using now, don't switch. But if it looks and feels better and fits better and your clients like it and you don't have issues with holes and blah, 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 then
stay.
Like stay or use this or don't. I feel like that would make the difference. Again, we're going off the rails with this, but let's just...
I have an opinion on this too. And it's something that I've personally been struggling with like more recently. And I do feel like the apparel, at the end of the day, it should be us buying the t-shirt from the distributor, printing it and selling it to our customer. And I feel like the reality is, I want to be known as the place to go get t-shirts. I don't want to be known as the person that puts the ink on the t-shirt. I want to be known as like, and I feel like I feel like Bella Canvas, et cetera, should be working with us to say, we want to do whatever it takes to make sure that we are your go-to shirt.
Yes.
And and how do we make sure that when, as you said, when someone calls you and says, hey, I just need 100 t-shirts, we say, okay, our basic shirt is the Bella Canvas 3001. It costs this much. And we can trust it because it's a consistently made product. The flip side of that is, most people that are making a request to us at this moment are saying, I want a Comfort Colors t-shirt. And that is because whatever Gildan did to make that shirt the most prominent shirt in America is I cannot even believe that rock bands are coming and requesting a Comfort Colors shirt.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was a sorority shirt. I thought that was something else. And so I do think that there is a
lifestyle brand.
Totally. And I do think that there is some magic in that, but I still think that whether it's Gildan or Bella Canvas or AS Color or Independent or whoever it is, they should be coming to us as their partner to sell that product. And so I feel like it creates market confusion when they go direct to the end user, because it's then like, who do I call to get shirts made? Do I call company X or do I call the print shop, or, and so I don't know. I struggle with that one personally.
I just feel like just like you said, though, is like, I tell these new bigger customers that I want to deal with is like, what I don't want to be at all is I don't want to be this place that you go to just print shirts where you're like, give me shirts. I don't even ask. I don't educate you in any way. I just say, I print shirt, and I get them whatever shirt I feel like selling them. I put ink on it and I give it to them. What I want to do is be like, oh, what is this for? Okay, well, you're a landscaper. All right, well, let's do a more breathable tee that's like this. Let's do a water-based black ink that's going to go on the back or whatever it is, because you want it to breathe through the shirt so you don't sweat and die on the side of the road. And all these things, like, I want to tell them that this is what this is. And the only way for me to get that information is from the manufacturers to tell me, like, okay, this shirt has this breathability and this and that and the other thing. And that makes me trust them and want to use that shirt and whatever. And when the customer calls me and says, I need something in this specific way, then I have the education to do so. And like
I
the
think
three of us are involved in industry
Yeah.
shit where we're learning this all the time, but the average print shop doesn't. They're just selling shirts. Like they don't have this.
I think it's philosophical a little bit. I think we have to decide what we're selling. Are we selling a print, or are we selling a full package product? Like we are, as you're saying, Dylan, like this person comes to you and says, I have this problem. And you say, well, let me sell you this product. Here's the solution to your problem. And it's not just the print. It's not just the shirt. And it's not just, it's the design. Yeah. Something needs to be designed for the customer and with the product or the shirt that is being printed on and the ink that is being used. All those come together. It can't be like, here's my design, just put it on whatever, because that doesn't work.
Yeah.
I found it really interesting. Dude, this was interesting. Sticker Mule, our favorite competitor, released their like t-shirt portal where you could buy t-shirts from Sticker Mule, which at first got me kind of because we've been trying to solve the problem for a decade. It's really freaking hard to order custom t-shirts and like to get all the information at one point, or what's the least amount of information we can get to bring a job to life. I found it very fascinating that still Sticker Mule does not let you select the shirt that you want. Like they have fixed that variable. And if you want shirts through us, tight, this is how much it costs. I'm not even going to tell you what blank you're getting. And then art is the only thing you get to influence. And I think that is like, I don't know if that's telling, but I think it's interesting that, you know, if it's true that 90% of the time we steer our customers into shirts, and if that's true for you, Dylan, then we're idiots. Like we should have warehouses full of 3 brands and a dozen colors, and we should just hold inventory and we should just be doling out, you know, what people want and not taking, like not letting everything be custom. The sizing, the runs, the quantities, the colors, the shirt, the ink, the art, the fulfillment. Yeah. Solving that problem would be really, really cool. But what are you leaving behind by doing it?
To the argument of that, one of the things that I love about, there's a company in Florida called Sunday Cool. And I visited them and I love those guys and whatever. And that's basically what they did is they found a shirt that they really like and they really trust, and that everybody in that, you know, in their niche market loves, and they just bought a fuckload of them. They relabel them, and then that's what they sell. When you buy a shirt, you get that shirt. And they know 100% of the time, this is how it's going to fit. This is how it's going to feel. These are the color options, and it works and it runs and it's awesome. But the thing is they got it figured out more than most of us, where they have one market, or, you know, they're very, very heavy into that market. Whereas the rest of us are like, all right, well, I did Slayer today, and I'm doing a church order tomorrow, and I'm doing a fucking youth event to this day or whatever. And it's like all different apparel types and everything. And it's like, it's impossible to have them all. I just think that in that vein of like the custom inks and this, that, and the other thing is it's so robotic, and I hate it. I hate that it's like click, click, click. I can order shirts, because I never feel like the end product is something somebody's proud of. It's like, I just got the job done. Like, oh, Tim's in charge of ordering the shirts for the family reunion, and they all come and they're like 6 inches down on the front, and it's like random clip art of dogs that he found. And it's just like, it's just terrible. And I don't want to be that shop. Like, people can be, and they can be super profitable and they can do that. I want the phone call that's like, hey, let's build a relationship, like come in, or I'll just talk to you, or I'll Zoom call you, or let's figure this whole process out. And then I have hopefully a customer for life because we have a relationship. I don't want it to ever be like click, 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 pay. Like, I don't know. That's just me. Like, I like nerding out on all the things to get them to print where they're excited about it. To me, it feels like almost like a custom Harley shop or something, where they come in with a dream, and then they leave with this product that they're like, oh, this rules. And they know going back in that they're going to get that. Anyway, back to Print Hustlers. So I guess both of you, for the people listening and they're questioning, should I go to this thing? Is it worth me going to this thing? What is the target printer to go to, Print Hustlers? Because I can't think of, I think it could be for anybody. It could be for the garage person. It could be for the person who has 66 autos. I feel like
I think that we're targeting kind of that. I think probably our main demographic is kind of probably like 500,000 in revenue to 2 million in revenue or something. That's what we tell sponsors. But
because what I don't want is it to be over somebody's head. I don't want someone listening to this to be like, "Oh, I'm new to the industry." They go, and everything you guys are talking about is just like, poof. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. And I think as like when I was a young print shop and I just wanted to get better, I would have taken the opportunity to go to as many of these things as I could. And I did, just so that I could understand a little bit more or talk to someone. Like the opportunity to talk to someone when you're starting, if you're starting out and you get the opportunity to talk to Justin or Dylan, or like, it's like, holy crap, like I can get so much information or so much inspiration just out of those conversations. Yep. And I think that that's huge. But like we also, it starts out like Saturday afternoon, Inktober does a education day where they talk about their new products and how to use it. And you can go ask the actual like engineers of Inktober, like, how do I use this? Or can you add that feature or whatever? It gives you some intimate connection with them, which is important. Of course, we have a lot of time for like just hanging out and talking. So that evening, there's a happy hour from 6 to 8, which is just time to engage. Last year, I think we created some fun contests. So people got to win some gift cards and whatnot. And then Sunday is it's an all day event with the speakers. There's great speakers. There's good time to kind of hang out and talk to your neighbor, and you're going to sit next to someone you don't know. And we're going to do that church thing where you have to introduce yourself and say something interesting.
Justin's very good at that.
Could have been a youth pastor, man. And that evening, we're going to do dinners. And we're going to do dinners a little bit different this year. I think we're going to kind of try to break people up in groups to go to some separate dinner places and have a little bit more intimate connection. Last year was amazing with Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We don't have that this year, unfortunately. But yeah. And then Monday morning, we're going to have a couple breakfasts. One of them is going to be it's the nice breakfast is going to be with Fabric, which is Bruce and Steven's new kind of a project to get printers together and have kind of focus group or what do you call it? Accountability group type discussions. But the first 60 people to sign up for the Fabric breakfast will get to go. And that is at the original Pancake House. So there will be pancakes. I don't know if they have gluten-free pancakes. I'll have to look. But
all the people with dietary restrictions can't go.
Yeah, that's right. I'm so sorry. But they probably have eggs. Or imitation eggs. I don't know.
Just stop.
But then after that, we're going to go take a tour of Culture Studio. Culture Studio is a huge print shop. They have a 100,000 square foot building nearby downtown Chicago. They're running 16 autos out of that shop. They also have a shop in Florida that has another 16 autos.
Yeah, basically a mirror shop in Florida.
Yeah, it's just an incredible opportunity to go see like, how do things function in like a really high efficiency print shop, which I always enjoy going into other people's print shops.
Yeah.
And then we'll do lunch and say goodbye, and everybody will go home, and it'll be a nice kind of summer camp type vibe where you miss all the people that you met, but you get to create pen pals. And suddenly you have, as an owner of a business, and certainly this is not just for owners, it's for owners and, kind of your right-hand people or your management team, et cetera. But one thing that I always heard when I started a business is it's really lonely at the top, and it is. And so when you don't know people that are just like you going through the same things as you, it's really, really hard. And when you get to go to events like these and meet people that are like you, it makes you feel human. And I think it's a super important part of this whole thing.
I think we can all attest to this. And, I think that's like one of the best things for me about this career. And I've talked before about how, like, if I didn't do this, I don't know what the fuck I would do, because this is a business for me. This is what creates me money so I can live and everything else. But like, I created this shop to where I have a place where me and my best friends can come to work every day, make money and support our lives. But as a sidebar of that, I have met some like crazy lifelong friends that are all over the world that are just in the same boat as me. We can connect, we can call, we can be like, hey, how's your shop doing? How are your kids doing? How's life? How are you dealing with the weight of burnout and stress and this thing and the other thing? And like, I'm in like 10 text groups and like the Discord channel that we have, and, you know, doing this show and talking to people every week and everything. And it's like, the best part about all of this for me is the networking and meeting new people and just being able to share life with all these other people. And I think Print Hustlers is one of those, again, where we were talking about everyone goes to one room, they're engaged in whatever speaking at the end, and then you can walk out of that room and sit at a random table and eat a sandwich and meet 5 other people who are in the same boat as you, who just learned the same thing as you, and you can start a discussion, and then you can go home with that person's number or their email or whatever, and then you can start a whole connection to where I could be like, hey, I'm in this boat, but I know Samantha's really good at AI or marketing, and then that evolves into a friendship that continues, and that was all because you decided to go to Print Hustlers or whatever.
That's incredible. I mean, even the people that like have the same past as you, it's like, I remember meeting Max from Family Industries, and he's like, oh, I used to tour in a band. I was like, oh, me too. And what band? He's like, yeah, we're in this band. I was on the Militia Group. And I was like, I was in a band on the Militia Group. That's crazy. And then, you know, having this mutual friend between us, Chad Pearson, who's like, now works for Family Industries, but it's like one of my lifelong friends. It's like, it's just the wildest. Yeah. It's
Small
really cool.
World stuff is crazy like that. Yeah.
It's very cool. And then when you go to a different city and you're going on vacation or whatever, like you have friends there. It's awesome.
I always say that like if I decided to travel the world or whatever, I feel like almost anywhere in the world I could be like, oh, I know there's a shop here, or I know that this person's here or whatever. It's like, oh, I want to travel to Australia. It's like, all right, I know like 30 people already that I could probably crash on a couch and go like around this whole thing. And it's all because of printing. And that is so fucking
even
cool.
Like the reality of like
so cool.
the amount of times that we've had an event happen or a band on tour and they're playing in this city, and it's like, how do we get merch to them tonight? And we, you know what? I know so-and-so and so for such and such town or whatever. It's,
I mean, you guys probably have this too, but I feel like I get text messages all the time from other printers that are like, who do we know in Illinois or whatever? And it's like, oh, this shop. Okay, well, cool. I've got to get merch to them at whatever. And it's like, it's just always like, who do we know in this city? And it's like always a game of like, oh, well, I know this person. Is there anything else you guys want to add about? Hold on, I got a cough. I'm coming off of a sickness, so like I've been trying to mute so many times in this episode.
I know.
Is there anything else you guys want to add about this event, or about Made Lab, or about anything that is pertinent to people to know?
I want to add that since someone has listened to all of this rambling for however long this has been, I want to give you a gift. And that gift is for the next 25 people that sign up for Print Hustlers. I mean, giving you a 10% off coupon code. And that coupon code is just simply Shirt Show.
Bleep that out, Chad. Let them guess.
Shirt Show.
Are you doing Shirt Show as one word, or Shirt Show as with a space in the middle?
You'll have to try.
Yeah, that's the Easter egg.
You have to pay full price if you fuck it up.
Yeah, that's right. Actually pay double.
Yeah.
There used to be this restaurant in our town, and at the end, when they brought you the check, you could play high-low with them. And so if you win, you get the meal for free. But if you lose, you have to pay double. And so they deal cards, and then if you won, you got it free. But
that's awesome.
It was fun.
Or not, which sucks.
I feel like that's right up Justin's alley. He would do it every time. I think he would do it every time.
He would.
But that's going to be smashed together, no space.
Okay.
Shirt Show.
Shirt Show, one word, gets you 10% off your Print Hustlers ticket.
For 25 people.
25 people.
Gotta be
so
fast.
Get on it. Yeah, be quick.
I got it, and I got 4 tickets to buy. I might go use that. Y'all better hurry up.
So there's right. There's 21 tickets left.
I think that happened last year. As we did some deal like that, and
literally,
you bought
I did. I said, "Hey guys," and I said some percentage amount that I just made up, and y'all were like, "All right," and then I instantly used that.
I mean, that's the advantage of being here on this podcast and putting the work in, is that now you get 10% off.
Yeah.
Normally I would ask shop hacks or greatest shop fail, but I don't really want to do that with you guys because we talked to you both a few times. What I do want to know is in 2025, 2026, is there anything you guys are adding to your shop that's going to make a difference? Brett, I saw you just recently got an Impress.
Yeah, I started this year saying I'm never buying equipment again until one of these presses is inoperable. I am never buying equipment again, and then at the end of the year, here we are. But
I'm about to do the same thing, I think. So I was curious as to your opinion.
Well, here's the reality: is like we've basically raised our screen printing minimums. We're doing way more direct to film transfers, and we got to get them out faster. But what really kicked me over the edge was we just got an order of 25,000 hoodies, and they all need a private label. And so we heat transfer private labels. And so I went and did the math on how long it would take us to do all those private labels manually. And it was 30 days.
Straight.
And then, so I was like, how long would it take with the Impress? And it was like 3 days. So the ROI is actually pretty fast on the machine when you think about it that way.
No rapid tag?
Not on hoodies.
Not on fleece, no.
We don't print hoodies here in Oklahoma.
We do here.
Yeah.
The thing is with hoodies too, a lot of times is you want to pre-press them just to mat down the fibers of the hoodie and then press the tag in. So yeah, it's like double time. So having something automated like that is going to make a big difference.
That's a lot of hoodies.
Justin, do you have anything you're adding? Or Brett, I stole yours, but I didn't know if you had anything else you guys are implementing, if it's being more lean or adding AI or something.
The next thing is just a better inventory management system. We need to make sure that we're already pretty good with inventory. Basically, we practice Kanban and we take inventory on a spreadsheet once a week and do our purchasing all at the same time. So that's efficient. But what the reality is, one thing that I've noticed is Uline, some of these, everyone creeps up their prices, so that you don't really notice it. So suddenly you go look at how much you spent at Uline. You're like, I could have bought that stuff for half the price at Amazon. And so we need to have some sort of these kind of monthly checks where we're going through all of our invoicing and making sure that we're getting the best price. Because sometimes that's a really big difference.
Well, that's what Amazon does for Black Friday is a month and a half or 2 months before is they start to slowly jack the price up. And then when Black Friday comes, it's like, oh, this thing is $200. It's like, that thing was $200 2 months ago. You just raised the price over 2 months and then all of a sudden got it back down to whatever the sale price is.
Totally.
So, yeah, keeping track of that stuff would be really cool. Justin, what do you got going
on? So we have DTF in house. That's been great. We have the MIM presses that slide side by side. I don't know if a carousel heat press is in the future for us, although, I mean, if it keeps going the way it does, maybe it is. But
you know what,
for me,
and Brett, you can test this real quick, is the big seller for me on that stuff is the people the production who's actually going to be running it want something more like the carousel or more like the Impress because it's so much easier to load. If you're loading tees on the MEM shuttles and stuff, there's all that shit underneath. It's so hard to load a hoodie or a tee or whatever. It's not the smooth flow of just loading on a pallet.
There's
so
also
that was the deciding factor.
Yeah, that helps. There's also a lot of automation involved in it. You can add on several things. So you can add on a device that puts the film on. You can add on a device that peels the film. You can add on unloader. So that actually takes the shirt off and bulk folds them in 12s. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So
Justin's going to need that for all that Thunder gear.
Well, what I want,
buddy.
The next thing we're going to buy is probably a laser. When my wax machine dies, I'm going to go LTS. And then what I'm holding out for, maybe 26. I want one of those $30,000 Tesla robots to load or unload or clean or to what make me nachos or whatever it does. Not the arm.
my
No.
gosh.
Like the robot, like the real Elon says these things are going to cost like
You mean like the
$30,000.
full on like
iRobot.
humanoid
Yeah.
robot? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been
That's what
seeing them. I've been seeing them like folding garments like at a table, and I'm like, that's nuts.
It is nuts. And that will be wickedly disruptive for the whole manufacturing industry. But if and when that happens, that'll be kind of cool. Or that $5,000 red arm that we get on our Instagram feeds, having that would be super cool. But definitely LTS and
I think for
Chromaline just dropped a new one.
For the $4 or $5 grand for that arm, it would just almost be fun as like a project, just to fuck around with it, see what you can do with it.
Yep.
Yeah, you were talking about the new Chromaline one. I saw they have a new single now.
Yep. That's what it seems awesome. You know, our wax machine rules. It goes down twice a year and you just spend $6 grand a year fixing it. And that's fine. But laser, no consumables. And like, well, I mean, there's no other choice. Like at our volume, like I'm not like I'm happy with it. But I think that the laser, I just don't want to pay. It sucks paying that much money for a piece of equipment, but it's inevitable.
But again, it's one of those things. It pays itself off super fast. No consumables. The regular plug-in outlet. I can shut it off at the end of the day. There's all these laser diodes in it that if one goes bad in the middle, I take one out of the top, I replace it, and I go right back to printing. Brett,
Plus, it's lasers.
Yeah. Someone was asking on a Facebook group about that recently, and I kind of explained that. Like, you're going to buy a print head every year for a wax machine. You're going to buy an umbilical at once, and then you're also going to be spending like, I think we were spending $400 a week on wax at some point. Yeah. And so it's like, you add all of that in and like, you should have just been making payments on a laser machine. I was
going to say $400 a week times 4, you're going to be spending $1,600 a month in wax. Why not spend $1,600 on your payment for the laser?
Totally. And then you don't have to, like, the thing that sucks about wax is you have to wash the wax off before you can develop the screen. It's like it takes a lot of extra time. And then some guy got in those comments and was talking shit about everybody in the commenting section, which was
that guy from Canada?
I don't remember. No, I don't remember who it was, but I was just
I have a specific human in mind.
This is why I don't ever comment on Facebook anymore. It's not a safe place.
I stay far away from it. I want nothing to do with any of these people. It's just like, I'm just going to stay in my bubble, It's so sad. Like, I want to be helpful, but then it's like, I also just don't. You know what I like to do? I like to come on here and do Shirt Show once a week and talk to people I want to hear from and like hear their story, get inspired. And then also like have this Discord group where it's like monitored and people can like say what they want to say. And then there's some asshole comes in. And it's like, hey, you're gone. See ya. And then like the people can ask more questions and it's fine. That's kind of what I want to go. All right. Current favorite band or musical group. If you don't say your son's band, Brett, you're a monster.
Actually, so my son is in this band called Trevor, and it's TRVR ? If you look it up on Apple Music, and they're phenomenal. Like, I would not be surprised if they like really make it. And I got so excited because next week here, so I'm saying dates on this is just going to confuse everybody, but like on October 2nd, the Impressions Dallas show is happening, and my son's band is playing like right down the street. I was like, dude,
that's awesome.
You're going to have so many middle-aged people at your show. So, but yeah, they're phenomenal. You know who I've been listening to a lot lately, and they're not new, is The Format. And it's so The Format was the band from Arizona. They became the band Fun, and now they're like going back and playing some shows, some reunion shows. And I want to go so bad. But I don't think that I will. But then
what was that song like? Frame by Frame? Wasn't that them? Step by step with the frame by frame. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know that that's just ringing a bell.
Let's just use Shazam right now in Justin's voice. And see
that's right. Use it. But you go, Justin. So you're going to say Charlie Crockett.
Funny you say that. It's not right now. It's worse. It's like I'm just drinking up some Drake and Kendrick Lamar right now and some Glass Animals sprinkled with a little bit of like Mount Joy. Yeah, it's kind of weird. And I'm in this like EDM festy boy, like Rufus Du Sol,
don't
like
act like that's a phase. You've always been into that as long as I've known you.
You know,
Justin's this guy who, like, when he talks on this and sees public whatever, he's this one persona, and then as soon as he leaves that, he's the guy who has the fucking like Fox jacket he puts on and sits in the corner with. He's just like, leave me alone, let me listen to my Drake.
Me and Drake versus the world.
That's so funny.
That's the reality. All right, last question, boys. Top 4 favorite movies of all time.
Waterworld. Number 1.
No, it's not.
On God, dude.
It is. The funny thing about that is, like, he's going to show us some Waterworld shit.
This is signed by Kevin Costner, bro. The Mariner.
That's amazing.
Waterworld,
that is so good,
bro. Waterworld.
My childhood, I loved that movie so much. And anytime I heard anybody say paper, I would always say paper.
Paper. Yeah, dude. That's my favorite movie.
I love that movie. It's so good.
Gremlins is one of my favorite movies.
Gremlins is great. I don't know. I've seen that movie a few times, and I saw a thing on it recently where they were talking about how they wanted Gizmo's like the main one, right? They were saying that the original idea was that he turned at the end. And then the whole argument was that they were like, no, like, I guess like in pre-cuts of it or whatever, he was going to turn. And they were like, no, he has to stay like the hero consistent, like throughout the whole movie, or it will lose its charm. So I always think things like that are interesting. All right. So Gremlins, Waterworld. Right now I've been watching K-pop Demon Hunters with my kids. That's pretty good. The music is fire. The new Waterboy movie is good. If you haven't watched that yet, it's not my favorite though, but Waterboy,
those are what come to mind. The new Waterboy movie, you haven't seen it?
No,
I'm kidding. Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh, Happy Gilmore.
I get my Adam Sandler stuff confused. No, Happy Gilmore 2 is really good. And I play golf now.
Better than I expected. I've been playing golf a lot, actually, too.
I hate golf so much. It sucks, dude.
I have never played golf. And me and Bill were actually talking about why we're at that age. Why are we not playing golf?
I know.
It's been proven to us that you can play what I'm scared to do is I feel like it's that boys club where you go and you're going to look like an asshole if you don't know what you're doing. Yep. I just 100%. Need to find somebody who's good-ish at golf and be like, can I shadow you for a couple games to like see how this works?
So you try disc golf. So Jared Granberry, formerly of GSG, now he's at Rock, but he is extremely good at golf, and he also just likes to have a good time, so he doesn't care if you're bad at golf. So that's been helpful to me.
It's perfect, to have somebody like that. All right, Brett.
Nick Wood. I've played with Nick Wood a few times recently.
I was going to say, Nick was sending me pictures from that. It was like you and Ryan
Moore and Ryan from Print Threads. Yeah. Okay, number 1 is That Thing You Do.
The O-Neaters.
Yeah, I don't know, something about that movie. I still tear up every time. Usual Suspects.
Great.
That's good.
Napoleon Dynamite and
Tina, You Fat Lard.
And Stand By Me.
Great.
Ooh. That's good. That's the one where they throw up in each other's mouths, isn't it?
They find the dead body. They run on the train tracks.
Also, so I have this huge infatuation with Corey Feldman. Like, I will just watch YouTube
train wreck of him singing now.
It's so hard to watch.
One of the best clips we play here all the time is when he gets shocked by the microphone.
Totally. So so my daughter went to this theater camp this summer in New York, and one of her roommates is the daughter of the drummer of Limp Bizkit.
Perfect.
And so once they had gotten to know each other pretty well, because they were there for a month, like 3 weeks in, I was like, okay, I need you to ask her is Corey Feldman really like that, or is it an act? Because like that's the thing. It's like, how could this be real, right?
How do you know?
And she was like, he is really like that. He is very weird. And I was like, oh, that's not like now. I didn't want to know. I think I didn't want to know.
Yeah. It's like the same amount of cringe as like Chris Angel and like one of the funnest.
Hold on.
Oh, well, Justin, you would worship
Mind
Chris
freak?
Angel. Mind freak.
I do worship Chris Angel. Mind freak, bro. First of all, hold on.
We went to. I saw him in Vegas one year, and then I brought Bill and Brian with me, who were like big. They're into the cringe of everything, and they were like, "We have to go to Chris Angel." And it was funny because we were also hanging out with Matt and Nate from Relentless, and they were like, "Oh, we want to go to Chris Angel too," and they got tickets. We sat down, and then they ended up, for some crazy reason, getting the tickets directly in front of us, like totally,
awesome.
In the whole auditorium. It was like they perfectly sat next to us, and we were obnoxious assholes the entire time, and it fucking ruled. I have so many clips and videos on my phone of us just screaming "Mind Freak" and being like, "Oh my god, how?" It's just like it's so disastrous.
It's so good.
But it was 100% worth it. Like, it's totally worth the embarrassment, but it's so good. Well, anyway, I appreciate both of you. Justin, I know you got to get going to your kids thing. Thank you both for hopping on with me. I'm really looking forward to Print Hustlers. I'm looking forward to seeing more from Made Lab. Justin, I am looking forward to the Thunder winning all over again. And
There we go.
I appreciate you both, and I will see you very soon.
Thank you. See you. Bye.